The number one reason you're still single is the dating apps aren't apping. So, you're blaming the dating apps. You're blaming hookup culture. You're blaming the fact that all the good ones are supposedly taken. You've convinced yourself, and probably all of your friends, that modern dating is just a dumpster fire, and you're simply not cut out for it. You've swiped until your thumb is numb, been on dates that felt more like stale job interviews, and you're left wondering if you're ever going to find your person. But what if I told you the problem isn't the apps? What if it's not the culture? And what if all those things you're pointing at are just a convenient distraction from the real issue? I'm going to tell you the number one reason you're still single is you. Now, hold on. Before you click away, just hear me out. This isn't about blame. I'm not here to tell you you're broken or not good enough. It's the exact opposite. This is maybe the most empowering thing you'll ever realize. Because if the problem is out there, the apps, the people, the world, then you're basically a victim. You have no power, no control. You're just sitting around, waiting for the world to change. But if the obstacle is in here, if the reason has been looking back at you in the mirror this whole time, that means you have the power to change it. That means you are in the driver's seat of your own love life. And today, we're grabbing the wheel. Section 1. The blame game we all play. Let's be honest, it feels good to blame something else. It's just easier. When you can point to the paradox of choice on dating apps, where having a million options just leaves you feeling paralyzed, it makes perfect sense. When you see people treating each other like they're ordering from Amazon, ready to send someone back if they're not absolutely perfect, it's natural to feel completely burned out. This dating fatigue is real. It can feel like a draining, full-time job that you never wanted. And yes, the dating landscape is confusing. But those are symptoms, not the disease. They're just the stage where our own internal dramas get to play out. Think of it like a radio. The broadcast is out there for everyone, but your internal receiver is tuned to a very specific frequency. And for a lot of us, that frequency is tuned to a station playing fear, doubt, and old pain on a loop. The hard truth is, we often co-create the very situations we complain about. We say we want a deep, meaningful connection, but we keep our conversations as shallow as a kiddie pool to avoid getting hurt. We say we want a committed partner, but we find ourselves drawn to people who are emotionally unavailable because, on some level, their distance feels safer than real intimacy. This isn't something to be ashamed of. It's a deeply human way to protect ourselves. In fact, Research shows that self-sabotaging behaviors in relationships are incredibly common. These actions usually aren't conscious or malicious. They're born from a subconscious drive to keep ourselves from getting hurt again. But in building a fortress to protect our hearts, we've made it so impenetrable that even love can't find a way in. So, the first step is to stop looking out there and start looking in here. It's time to get brutally honest about the role we're playing in our own story. Section 2. The real culprit: your inner world. The real reason you're single isn't one thing, it's more like a whole ecosystem inside of you. It's a mix of fears, beliefs, and baggage from the past that quietly runs the show from behind the scenes. Let's pull back the curtain on the main culprits. First up, the fear of being truly seen. At the absolute core of this is a fear of vulnerability. Vulnerability is just the willingness to be seen, truly seen, with all our quirks, insecurities, and imperfections. It's handing someone the blueprint to your heart and trusting them not to burn it. And yeah, for most of us, that is absolutely terrifying. This fear doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers. It's the hesitation to share how you really feel. It's a habit of keeping things light and fun to avoid the deep stuff. It's that urge to pull away or suddenly find a fatal flaw in someone the moment they start getting close. This is all rooted in a primal fear of rejection. We tell ourselves, if they see the real me, they'll leave. So, we end things first, maybe even screw it up on purpose, just to beat them to the punch. It's a painful paradox. In a desperate attempt to avoid the pain of rejection, we do the rejecting ourselves, guaranteeing the very loneliness we say we want to escape. Think about your own patterns. Do you share what you're really thinking, or do you offer up a more polished, pre-approved version of yourself? Do you hit the eject button when a relationship shifts from casual to serious? This fear of intimacy is a powerful wall, but the first step to tearing it down is just admitting it's there. Next, the echoes of your past. You don't just show up to a date as you are today. You bring every past relationship, every old wound, and your entire childhood with you. The way we learned to connect with our parents or caregivers, our attachment style, has a huge impact on our adult relationships. If you learned that love was inconsistent, you might develop an anxious attachment, constantly seeking reassurance and terrified of being abandoned. You become the person who can't stop asking, "Are we okay?" until, ironically, you aren't. Or, if you learned that having needs just led to disappointment, you might develop an avoidant attachment style. You become fiercely independent, allergic to deep emotional connection because closeness itself feels like a threat. Both of these insecure styles make it incredibly difficult to build the foundation of trust that a healthy partnership needs. And then there's the baggage from exes. Heartbreak and betrayal leave scars, creating a kind of trauma response that makes us fear history repeating itself. This is where self-sabotage thrives. We might unconsciously pick partners who remind us of an ex who hurt us, not because we're gluttons for punishment, but because our subconscious is trying to fix the original wound by winning a game that's already over. Or, we might destroy a perfectly good thing because happiness feels so unfamiliar that it sets off all the alarms in our nervous system. These old wounds are like ghosts haunting the present, and you can't build a future with a ghost in the room. And finally, the unspoken belief that you're not enough. Underneath all of this, there's often one core belief holding it all together. I am not worthy of love. It might be so deep you don't even hear it anymore. It's that little voice whispering that you're not attractive enough, not successful enough, not interesting enough. This inner critic is a defense mechanism born from a fear of rejection, convincing you that you aren't good enough before anyone else gets the chance. Low self-esteem infects everything. It sets your standards, either impossibly high so no one ever measures up, or painfully low, which leads to you accepting treatment you know you don't deserve. If you don't believe you're worthy, you'll find it almost impossible to accept genuine love when it shows up. You'll question your partner's motives, always needing reassurance because you can't wrap your head around why they would choose you. A 2015 study found that people with negative self-views often seek this kind of constant validation, which ironically creates anxiety and can push their partners away. This creates a tragic self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you're unlovable, so you act in ways that are hard to love. Maybe you're defensive, distant, or critical. When the person eventually leaves, that belief gets confirmed. See? I told you so. It's a vicious cycle, but it's one that starts with a belief. And beliefs can be changed. CTA mid-video. If any of this is hitting home, if you're seeing yourself in these patterns, I want you to do two things. First, just take a deep breath and give yourself some grace. This is heavy stuff, and just acknowledging it is a huge act of courage. Second, hit that subscribe button. Because recognizing the problem is half the battle. Now, let's talk about how to actually win it. We're going to get into the practical, real-world steps you can take to tear down these walls and finally let love in. Section 3. The Blueprint for Change. Okay, you've done the hard work of looking in the mirror. Now comes the best part, the work of changing what you see. This isn't some magic, overnight fix. It's about committing to a process, one step at a time. Solution A. Rewire your fear by practicing vulnerability. You don't conquer a fear of water by jumping into the ocean. You start in the shallow end. You have to practice vulnerability in small, low-stakes ways to show your nervous system that it's safe to open up. Start with your friends. The next time a friend asks, "How are you?" instead of the automatic, "Fine, you?" try sharing one true thing. Honestly, I've been feeling a little overwhelmed lately. Or, I'm actually really excited about this new thing at work. It seems tiny, but every time you do it, it's a representative. You're building that muscle. With someone you're dating, try sharing a small preference, a silly fear, or a personal story that reveals a little more of who you really are. The goal isn't to dump all your trauma on the first date. The goal is to gradually let your guard down and see that the world doesn't end. Each time you're vulnerable and the other person meets you with kindness, you are actively rewriting that old story in your head that says, to be seen is to be rejected. Solution B. Heal your past by facing it. You can't build a stable future on a broken foundation. Healing old wounds and understanding your relationship patterns is non-negotiable. This is where self-awareness becomes your superpower. Start a journal. Ask yourself the tough questions. What patterns keep showing up for me? What fears come up again and again? When have I felt this way before? This process brings the unconscious stuff into the light, where you can actually do something about it. For the deeper wounds, especially those from trauma or deep-seated attachment issues, therapy can be life-changing. A good therapist gives you a safe space to unpack the baggage and hands you the tools to stop repeating the same mistakes. Remember, asking for help isn't a weakness, it's a sign that you're strong enough to say, my past will no longer control my future. Healing isn't about erasing what happened, it's about loosening its grip on your present. Solution C. Build a foundation of self-love. Ultimately, you attract what you believe you deserve. That's why building genuine self-worth is the bedrock of all of this. You have to stop looking for someone to complete you and learn to feel whole all on your own. Start by auditing your self-talk. That inner critic that's always running you down? Give it a ridiculous name. When it starts its nonsense, just say, not today, negative Nancy. Replace that criticism with compassion. Instead of beating yourself up for a mistake, try, that was tough, and I did the best I could. Practice setting healthy boundaries. This means saying no to things that drain your energy and yes to things that fill you up. It means not being available 24/7 and teaching people, through your actions, how you expect to be treated. Every time you hold a boundary, you send a powerful message to yourself, my needs matter. Finally, make a conscious effort to own your strengths. Write down a list of everything you're proud of, from professional achievements to your killer sense of humor. Read it. Often. We are so wired to focus on our flaws, but true confidence comes from owning what makes you great. When you start to genuinely like and accept yourself, your standards will rise automatically. You'll no longer be drawn to people who treat you poorly, because it will be completely out of sync with how you treat yourself. Conclusion. For years, you might have felt like a passenger on a train, helplessly watching your love life pass you by. You blamed the conductor, the other passengers, the faulty tracks. But the message today is that you were never just a passenger. You're the one driving the train. The fear, the baggage, the belief that you're not enough, these are not life sentences. They are patterns, and patterns can be broken. They are beliefs, and beliefs can be changed. The work isn't easy, but it is the most rewarding work you will ever do. It's the journey of coming home to yourself. The power to change your love life doesn't lie in a new app or moving to a new city. It lies in your courage to do the inner work. To face your fears, heal your wounds, and build a relationship with yourself that is so strong and so loving, that the love you attract from the outside is just a mirror of the love you've already built on the inside. That's not just how you find a partner. That is how you build an incredible life. Thank you for being here and for having the courage to look inward. If this resonated, give it a like to share it with others who might need to hear this. And I want to ask you, what's one pattern you're committed to changing after watching this? Share it in the comments below. Reading them reminds all of us that we're not alone on this journey. Take care, until the next video.